How about that Star Wars?
Let's call it Golfy Lauren.
Put a big old mustache out there.
Yeah. Sigourney Weaver is playing Cy Snoodles.
Just elongated her mouth.
Yeah, it's like her face, but just, yeah, it's all prosthetics.
Terrifying. Nightmare fuel.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to Last Week in Star Wars. I'm Alex.
I'm Molly.
And we have some kind of movie updates for the week. It was kind of a light news week.
Kind of similar to last week. There's just like little things trickling out every now and again for people who are promoting other movies.
Right.
And people interviewing them are like, how about that Star Wars?
Can't help but ask Daisy Ridley and now Sigourney Weaver.
Because the articles do so well.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't expect any, like, official Star Wars news, at least not major news, until Celebration.
Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about that a little bit this week as well. But let's just dive into our first news story. In an interview with Games Radar, Sigourney Weaver talked about being in The Mandalorian and Grogu, and she said, "I get to have scenes with a little Grogu, which is probably why I did the movie, and he's a little badass too. It's going to be wonderful for people to see what Grogu is up to now because he's grown up a little bit and is capable of much more than maybe we think just watching the series. I play a wonderful character who is, you know, in a position of authority, and I have to send the Mandalorian out on a mission on the Outer Rim where all the bad stuff happens." So I want to start with that last little bit of the quote. Mm-hmm. To me, that sounds like your guess that she would be the new magistrate of Navarro. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if this is like a permanent replacement as magistrate or if she comes in kind of temporarily and maybe is more on the New Republic side, but is keeping an eye on Navarro. I don't know.
Yeah, like it does still leave open room for her to be in the New Republic. I do think this cancels out any idea that she would be a villain. I think we threw around that possibility as well.
Yeah.
But if she's sending Din on a mission, then she's most likely on his side.
She's not playing Imbo.
No, she's not playing Imbo. Let's not rule out Zero the Hutt, though.
Yeah.
Let's bring back all these like wacky Clone Wars characters.
You got one Hutt, you might as well bring them all back.
Sigourney Weaver is playing Cy Snoodles. Alongside Jeremy Allen White's Rada the Hutt.
They've just elongated her mouth.
Yeah, it's like her face, but just, yeah, it's all prosthetics.
Mm-hmm. God, that would be terrifying. Nightmare fuel.
Yeah, just like this animatronic long mouth on a human face. Are you jealous at all that she gets to do scenes with Grogu?
Jealous? I mean, yeah, always jealous of anyone who gets to interact with little man.
What do you think about her saying that he's a little badass, that he's grown up a little bit? Do you think we're going to see like a new version of the puppet?
I don't know, because I mean, a big part of the love and adoration of Grogu is that he's a baby.
Right.
And so I don't know if we're going to get like teenage Groot versions of Grogu in the future. I still think he'll be little. I don't think he's going to have like full-on sentences, but yeah, he might be a little bit taller. They probably grow taller extremely slowly. I mean, we know Yoda only gets so tall.
Right.
So
unless they get like really tall and then they shrink back down.
Sure.
That whole species is still a mystery to us.
I keep seeing people talk about like what his first official words could be, but we know he's a badass. We see him doing flips and taking out Praetorian guards. Mm-hmm. So like that makes sense to me that we'll see more of that.
Yeah, I think that from what we saw at the end of season 3, yeah, him flipping around and working together with Din, I feel like we will probably get a more elevated version of that. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a new puppet. Not necessarily he's much taller now or anything, but since this will have a movie budget for just like 2-ish hours of screen time, they might have had a little extra money to like update things, especially if they're going to do more episodes of The Mandalorian down the line on streaming. Mm-hmm. This could be a point for them to like, let's upgrade everything a little bit while we have movie money.
Yeah.
And then we can use all this in the series as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's already multiple versions of the Grogu puppet, you know, if you're going to hold him, if he's going to be by himself down on the ground. If they do make changes to him, they're going to have to make changes to all of those puppets. So it It's going to be...
This Grogu has a tattoo and a piercing.
Yeah.
He's getting edgy.
It's going to be not cheap to do.
Right.
But I like the idea that, while they have a little movie money, let's make some upgrades.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm not thinking that cosmetically he'll look much different, but they might just be able to upgrade the technology of one of the puppets.
Yeah.
And then, they would still have their little army of Grogu puppets that they use for different scenes in the series.
I wonder if he'll get a new outfit. He's just been wearing this little sack.
For the whole time.
And, like, it doesn't...
I mean, it's very Han Solo of him. He's
Sure.
like, I have this one look and I'm sticking with it.
He needs, like, a little vest or, like,
He needs
cool
to meet
jacket.
Lando, like, get some style tips, put him in a little cape.
Tiny cape!
Can you imagine?
Maybe he gets, like, a battle-ready outfit or something that, like, has pants. I don't know how long his little legs are, but, like, I don't know.
You know, if he's a little badass in this movie, I think we're probably going to get like a Goku or a Piccolo moment where Grogu rips his burlap sack off and like reveals his fighting outfit underneath. We also find out that the burlap sack has been weighted, so he hasn't been operating at his full power this whole time. Now he's like, I'm not even dealing with the extra weight of my non-battle clothes, and his power level is going to go above 9,000, and we'll all cheer.
Yeah, his little arms aren't long enough to take it off by himself. So he's just been like, help.
He just sticks his little arms up and Din has to like pull his shirt off.
He's already got, what is it that they made for him? A little...
Oh yeah, his little armor piece. Little chest plate.
So, I mean, if he truly is doing these trials and like being trained to be a Mandalorian, doesn't that mean he will eventually get a suit of armor?
Yeah, and it's true. I forgot that he does have on weighted armor right now, and he was still doing all those flips. So he kind of is like, he's not operating at his full power.
He's been training hard.
This isn't even his final form. Heading into another movie, the new Jedi Order movie, Daisy Ridley also had an interview about her upcoming action movie, The Cleaner, and talked about her involvement with the film, saying, I don't know that I'd be a producer on it, but I certainly have been very involved. I'm involved, well, not very involved, but I'm involved in as much as I know what's going on. I know the story. I know what's going on with the script, so I'm aware of all that. And I think what's been really wonderful over the last few years is being more involved from start to finish, really coming to set knowing this is the absolute best way we can tell this story. These are the best actors for the job. This is the best crew for the job. Having that confidence is so lovely. And it's not that I didn't have that before, but I'm much more cognizant of it now. So in that way, I'm looking forward to turning up, really knowing the ins and outs of what the journey has been, and we're arriving at the absolute best place to tell this particular story. So... I think, I mean, that was very much like a stream of consciousness answer, which I know, like, people were quoting it. We were quoting it about her involvement. But it seems like what she's trying to get across is that I'm much more involved with this one than I was in the sequels.
Yes.
Like, you know, she was more of an up-and-comer for The Force Awakens, so she probably just showed up and did what she was told. And here, I think it's nice that she is, like, along for the whole journey. She's not saying that she would necessarily be like a producer level making decisions on things, but like she's there, she is in the know.
Yeah.
And that's nice.
Yeah. I think it's important, right? Because this character has been in 3 movies now, and this is going to be her 4th one. I think the actor playing the character after doing 3 movies worth should have more and more say as to like how she would react to things and like what's going on in her head. And like, I think whoever's writing it, George Nolfi, I like the idea of the two of them working together a little more closely, just so she can have a little more say in what Rey does and says and how she acts. So, and then the other part of that quote that I love is just her mentioning her confidence.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, doing the sequel trilogy was huge, and they probably knew that going into it. It's Star Wars, it's a big deal, but it can be really daunting. So hearing her say that she's confident now is really exciting.
Well, it's interesting that, you know, the sequels were made kind of like for all Star Wars fans, and that is hugely daunting. And these upcoming movies are also going to be made with like the whole fandom in mind, but also the fact that we're getting like a Mando movie, a new Jedi Order movie, Dave Filoni's movie, which is kind of also a Mando movie,
Right.
and also the Dawn of the Jedi. Like there's a little something for everyone. This feels more targeted at, this is for the sequel fans.
Right.
This is for the Rey fans.
Yes.
And they're kind of able to target a demographic within Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I think that should give her some confidence as well.
It's really exciting knowing that we're going to go into this movie and Rey is not going to be picking up the mantle from Luke Skywalker. You know, she's not going to be, she might mention the training that she did with Leia, but Leia is not in the film. So we don't have these other larger than life characters. This is just
with 50 years of history.
Right. Like this isn't the Skywalker saga. This is just Rey and what happens next and the new Jedi Order.
Right. And I think that there will be a lot less baggage. 10 years of baggage now. And I'm sure there will still be people who want to complain about it the whole way. But like,
don't go see it.
Yeah.
If you don't like Rey,
like
not
I said,
for you.
Go see the other movies that are in development. Whatever Sean Levy has going.
Sure,
hopefully we find out about that. But,
Ryan Gosling, very exciting.
Right. So like, I like that they're kind of splitting off and doing things for specific kinds of fans.
Yeah. Sequel trilogy fans have been kind of left high and dry, I would say, for a while.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's because, no real books, no comics, nothing, some Lego specials here or there. But I think it's because they know we are going to move forward in the timeline, and they wanted to take their time and do it in a good way that hopefully appeals to a wide breadth of Star Wars fans. But I think that they are going to focus on, okay, now these are the people that were 8 when The Force Awakens came out, and now they're 18.
Right. Yeah, and also like fans of the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy got Legends books, video games, like
the Clone Wars series.
Clone Wars, like a lot of filler with kind of like that era. And then, we haven't gotten that as much, but a lot of that is because Legends isn't a thing anymore. They're a little bit more strict with storytelling in the video games. So
yeah, but I think that they have just held back from the sequel era because they didn't want to publish books that said one thing and then come along and do movies that are like, actually.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm also just excited to have Daisy Ridley back in Star Wars. Like, we have continued to watch her movies. The one about the ocean, I forget where she swam.
Woman in the Sea.
The Woman in the Sea.
The Woman in the Sea. Young Woman in the Sea.
Yeah, we watched Magpie. We've seen Murder on the Orient Express. I am excited for The Cleaner.
I am too.
Honestly.
Like, it looks like a pretty exciting kind of like action movie, but Magpie was really, really good. Kind of hard to find. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. And then Young Woman in the Sea was really good too. So
just, watching her get to be an actor outside of Star Wars has been fun. But like, I'm in the mood for, and I say this with respect, a big dumb action movie. Like, we watched, now I can't remember the name of the one in the airport. Carry On.
Yeah.
Like, that came out, and I was like, this is such like just a fun movie to watch. Kind of dumb, but like, I had a blast. And then The Cleaner, I saw the trailer for that, and I was like, this looks like Carry On.
Yeah.
Like, in the sense that I think I'll have a lot of fun watching it. Let Daisy Ridley be a big action star.
Yeah.
Like, she's gotten to do a lot of different roles the past few years, and that's cool.
I have not seen Ophelia, but that is on my list of another movie that she starred in that I want to see. But like you said, she is getting a chance to be kind of a more action star type, and we know that she did a ton of training for the Star Wars movies. So let her show some of that off.
But that's it for news, so we're going to move into last week in canon. We got 2 new comic issues this past week. You read them both, or you read one and skimmed one.
Read one, skimmed the other, because I just haven't been keeping up with the High Republic adventures. But I think I'm generally caught up.
You're more caught up than you used to be.
Yes.
So, which one do you want to talk about first?
Bad Batch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first issue of the Bad Batch Ghost Agents came out. This was written by Michael Morisi, who I did want to shout out because he has done a lot of the Dark Horse, like all ages comics, and specifically a lot of the ones that I like. The Star Wars Adventures line, they used to do a bunch of like every issue would be 2 short stories. And I just found it difficult to get like a fully satisfying story out of an issue like that.
Yeah.
Michael Morisi has written a lot of the ones where they get actual 5-issue arcs, and they would each issue would have a story within a story.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just him writing like, this is the Bad Batch for 5 issues straight through. I'm really excited about that because I have enjoyed all of the arcs that he's done for all ages comics. But in this one, a list of Republic spies is stolen, and Clone Force 99 are sent to find the thief before they can sell it to the Separatists. Imbo gets in the way and messes up the mission, so they have to chase the thief to Kessel now. I didn't mention the beginning. It's very James Bond. Like, we get to see the end of their current mission. Very James Bond / Indiana Jones. Like,
Yeah.
this is the end of an adventure, and it's got a big old monster in it because you can't have a Bad Batch story without a big old monster.
And Wrecker being bait for it.
Yeah. So that was fun. I think that the series has really captured the voice of the Bad Batch as like a genre,
Yeah.
but also each of the characters.
I agree. Yeah, it's cool seeing them work a little bit closer with the Jedi too. Like seeing them talk with Mace Windu is pretty cool.
Yeah, we've not really seen them much in the Clone Wars.
Right.
We got that one arc right at the end where they talk about, yeah, this is Clone Force 99. They've been around the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like them kind of working together and everyone has their very specific role. So I wouldn't say this is them at their height, but for what they were used for in the Clone Wars, I think so.
Yeah, like it's cool to see them on just very specialized missions. And this one, they have to go undercover, which doesn't work great. Like they are clones, but they look a little different. So it's like they all put on costumes and they go to some seedy bar and everyone's immediately like, you're clones.
I loved that though, like getting to see them in their little civvies.
Uh-huh.
It was cute.
Who had your favorite outfit?
Ooh, it might be Tech or Wrecker. I mean, I imagine it's hard for Wrecker to get clothes. He might have to get them
He's got to
custom
go to the
made.
plus size, yeah.
Big and tall.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I was kind of like, now I want to see them in more like different civilian outfits.
Mm-hmm. They never really get to be comfortable. We finally get to see it on Pabu for a little bit.
Yeah.
But they keep getting sent out on missions. So.
Yeah. But it was kind of interesting seeing when they go into this bar to start getting information. Yeah, they're like immediately like, ugh, clones. Like, we don't want to serve your kind here. And they start getting flack immediately. And Hunter is kind of just like, look, man, let me level with you. We're just trying to do a job here.
They try to do it the nice way, and then Wrecker has to step in, and Crosshair threatens to shoot everyone.
Right.
And so they're like, okay, they help him out, and they go find this ship that is headed out. They see their target, who has like a mask. So we don't know who it is, if it's meant to be anyone that we already know.
Yeah, and they're about to get on their ship.
It could be Asajj Ventress, now that I think about it, because I think
she did have a mask that like disguised her voice at one point.
I don't think it was that mask, but now I did not compare them. But I think she's supposed to be in this series at some point.
Yeah.
So maybe they are currently hunting Asajj.
In like the 4th or 5th maybe issue.
That would be fun to to catch up with her, see their first interaction. But they couldn't stop the ship because Imbo pops up and like zaps Tech and hits Wrecker with his hat.
Yeah, he's trying to, I guess, accomplish the same goal and get to this person first.
Yeah, it sounds like he's been hired probably to steal the list for the Separatists or something.
Yeah, but Wrecker makes a great joke about like wanting to smack Imbo with his own hat.
Yeah. Zombieland. Don't shoot me with my own gun.
I think he even calls it a little hat, which, like, for Wrecker, maybe that is a little hat.
Yeah, I think he's probably just trying to get under Imbo's skin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked that one a lot. Good start to the series. Are you ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle, and can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfasts, snacks, and more. Reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that can't be beat. I've tried weeks worth of Factor meals, and they're perfect for fitting lunch into my busy schedule. I cook breakfast in the morning, and Molly and I cook dinner together in the evening, but finding time for a good lunch has always been a struggle for me. Factor is simple and quick to prepare in the microwave or oven, and the meals taste good. I usually choose their Protein Plus meals that come with chicken breasts or pork tenderloins or beef. They taste good, they're quick to make, and they definitely feel like a step above a standard microwavable meal. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. In the High Republic Adventures issue 15, the Battle of Eriadu continues. We learn that the Nile have a spy hanging around the Jedi, and they're all trying to stop the city's reactor from exploding. Farzala senses an ominous presence approaching, and Court recovers while also trying to control a youngling or a Padawan named Zent. I thought that this character Zent was, like, much younger, but she had a Padawan sash in this issue, so maybe she's been elevated to Padawan. I don't know.
Is that the one that had the mask?
Yes.
Okay.
So they are Aloxians, and they wear the mask. It kind of helps them control their base, like, rage while they're growing up. So kind of like I was joking about earlier.
Kylo Ren needs one.
Yeah. Well, his mask does not work. He needs an Aloxian mask. So kind of like I was joking about with Yoda, when they take the mask off, they're kind of at their full power, but they can't really control it. So the Jedi are having trouble keeping the city safe. So Zint takes her mask off, gets the job done, but then is about to, like, unleash hell on everyone, and Court has to, like, wrestle the mask back on her.
It's like Cyclops.
Yeah, kinda. If he were to never close his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, that's what the visor does.
Yeah.
Kind of
It keeps it bottled up. But then once they reach maturity, the mask will break off, and they're able to control it themselves.
Okay.
So that's why Court doesn't have a mask anymore.
Gotcha.
This issue was all right, mostly more about action. Didn't move things forward a ton. I thought it was kind of interesting that this whole plot about the city's reactor being in danger was all set up in dispatches from the Occlusion Zone, which is like a High Republic Adventures spinoff. So I was like, I wonder if people who chose to not read that are now confused.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they set that up outside of the main run of the comic.
Well, it's also kind of just a thing that's happening that you might just be like, as the reader, you might just be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They
just,
gotta...
oh, the reactor's also about to explode, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Tara Sunube was in it.
Yeah, Tara Sunube showed up.
He came in like this weird drill ship.
An eviscerator.
Yeah.
Their ships, like, specifically meant to mess up other ships.
And like
hence the giant drill.
Yeah. And I don't, because I haven't been keeping up with this, I didn't realize that Tara Sunube's former Padawan is like part of that group. So that was cool.
Yeah. Fun to see Tara pop up. He was in phase 2 of the High Republic Adventures as well. They are doing a pretty good job at wrapping up, I feel like, all of the characters who have been in all 3 phases. Like, just about everyone is here on Eriadu. I'm not super into the Eriadu plot. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel as connected or important for the end of phase 3 as some of the stuff in the books, where I'm just like, it's good that you're protecting this planet. I guess that's really the lesson, is like, it doesn't matter. If it's important to the plot, we're protecting these people.
Yeah, it's more about the characters that we have seen grow up and what they are accomplishing now.
Yeah. It just seems a little more separated from the rest of Phase 3 for some reason.
Like they're kind of padding out time, stretching it out a little bit.
Like, not padding so much as just it doesn't feel as linked to all of the other stories that are more centralized around like Markion and those main Jedi and like the Nameless and the Blight. It's like that's not really part of this story, but some ominous presence is coming, so maybe.
Yeah, it might connect eventually.
Yeah. That's it for Canon last week, so we're going to dive into what happened in Fandom. I wanted to mention that we just got the chance to hang out with one of our friends, Solid Brick Studios, who's a Lego YouTuber, covers a lot of Lego Star Wars. So that was fun. It's always just a good time to actually hang out with other creators in person.
Yeah, he was in town for Atlanta Brick Con, which is like a big Lego convention that we sadly were not able to attend because we had prior engagements, but next year I would love to go.
Yeah, it seemed like there were a bunch of cool creations there. David was showing us pictures, and he didn't bring anything, but I also wanted to shout out, not that it needs our help, because it's already at like 1.5 million views, but he made this awesome Battle of Geonosis scene.
Huge.
Yeah, so we'll link to that because it's rad.
Yeah.
It like from afar, it doesn't even look like Legos. It looks like just a sculpture.
I didn't know how many like orange pieces he had to have gotten to build Geonosis.
So many shades of brown and yellow. And
Yeah. But yeah, it was really, really cool. I tried to pick some more topical memes this week to show you. Every so often, this segment is about me showing Alex a bunch of memes that I see on social media because he doesn't spend as much time there as I do.
We'll see if Poopa understands them all this week.
Just trying to keep Poopa up to date. So this one's kind of Super Bowl related.
I know who that is. It's Kendrick Lamar, and it says, Omega getting taken back to Tantus, ready to ruin Hemlock's life. Big ol' smile. Yeah.
A lot of...
it's very like, I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me.
Yeah.
And the Zillow Beast.
Tons of hilarious like Super Bowl memes popped up this week, which was fun.
Of course.
This one is also topical, more so just of something very stupid that happened, but I've seen a lot of people make this meme where we're just gonna take back the name of the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, because no one's gonna call it. It's like Twitter and X all over again.
Oh yeah.
No one's gonna call it that. Shut up.
That's why are we spending time renaming bodies of water?
Yeah.
People are dying.
The glup of shitto is fun, but honestly, this just makes me mad. But at really loud fart makes me laugh, so it gets a pass. All right, I've got one. Let's call it Golfy Lauren.
Ooh, put a big old mustache out there. Yeah, I like that. Last one. I saved this one because at Star Wars actually replied to it.
Me watching Revenge of the Sith for the 501st time, and Anakin still turns. I can't tell if that guy's happy or upset. It seems like he might be screaming for joy. He's probably upset.
But yeah, official Star Wars just replied with
Anakin, por favor.
Anakin, por favor. It's a very like daytime soap opera.
Am I supposed to know what
situation.
this is from?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if that was part of the meme.
I mean, I don't think I do. It looks like a reality show.
Yeah.
Or maybe it kind of looks like he's being tickled.
That's what I'm like.
Headcanon.
Yeah. Are we upset that Anakin turned in this meme? I can't tell.
I love to find ways to make every interaction like it was a tickle fight.
Yeah,
because that just takes all the seriousness away.
And we're going to wrap up with last week in questions. We took a few from Patreon and one from our YouTube comments. But I also wanted to take some time to shout out Alphonse Collado, who joined our Patreon at the Jedi Knight level. So thank you, Alphonse. And also wanted to mention that we put out this week a bonus Q&A. Every once in a while we do an Ask Us Anything But Star Wars Q&A, and that is out on our Patreon if you want to hear our non-Star Wars thoughts.
That one was fun.
But for our first question, Dylan S. asks, what parts of attending Celebration are we looking forward to the most this year? And not just Celebration, but like Japan and Tokyo and the whole trip.
Yeah, it's starting to feel a lot more real.
Yeah, we got less than 2 months.
Now, well, okay, I'll start with just Japan. Obviously, the food is like a big thing that we're both looking forward to. But for Celebration specifically, I just think like the designs for the merch have potential to be really cool and different. I am sure the cosplay over there is going to be insanely good. I don't know, just like getting to meet more fans from Japan, I'm looking forward to, and just like talking with them.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in too much Japanese, because I am.
We're trying. We're taking our Duolingo lessons.
Did you see what happened?
The owl died?
Yeah.
Have they come back yet?
Did you see how?
No. What? Hit by a Tesla truck?
A Cybertruck?
Whatever.
Yeah, so who did this, I wonder?
What in the world?
Anyways, sorry. We are attempting to learn a little Japanese, but like I hear a lot of folks speak English over there, which is nice and helpful. So hopefully we can meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, we're trying really hard. Daily lessons, but yeah, I'm really excited about food, exploring Japan. We're going over a few days early to just like enjoy some time over there, because we're using this as an excuse to go to Tokyo. We might not ever go back. And I'm excited about, I guess, just seeing the culture over there. I love going to places where it looks like you've stepped outside of time. We've been to like Rome, and just seeing ruins on the side of the road was really cool. But I want to go see places that just feel like they have been preserved. So we're going to Kyoto for a little bit, seeing shrines and stuff like that.
Shrines, temples, just like learning more about that side of the culture should be really, really fun.
Yeah. But for Celebration, yeah, it's mostly like the news and everything. All the panels are a lot of fun, but I mostly love being able to hang out with Star Wars fans in person, see friends that we only ever get to see at Celebration, and hanging out with them. That's what I'm most excited for.
I definitely want to do some shopping while we're there. So like shopping specifically at Star Wars Celebration is very exciting to me, because like they could have all kinds of cool vintage stuff that we've never even seen over here.
Yeah, I'm nervous about that. Just about everyone I've talked to has said that they've gone over and then had to bring suitcases, like buy new suitcases to get everything back home. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just mentally preparing for that.
Prepare for that.
Yeah.
We'll make it out.
Barb Wire 5322 asks if we think any of the Young Jedi Adventures characters could appear in a future comic or book.
I hope so.
I say yes.
I mean, they've done, 2 seasons of this show? So they've given it enough time and effort to where I think they could have the kids watching this show kind of grow up a little bit and then be like, look, remember these characters from the show you loved as a littler kid? Now they're in a book or a comic.
I guess I'm also crossing my fingers that they will be in Phase 3. Not as a big part, but I have just this intense desire for Bell Zettifar to survive all of this, because I love Bell, but B, having seen Bell in the Young Jedi Adventures, those episodes are always fun, and I really want him to take Kai as his Padawan. Like, their dynamic is just so cute, and Bell is such a good teacher for him, and there's that moment in season 1 where Kai falls out of a tree and Bell catches him, and it's like this mirror to what Loden did for Bell. So just all of that, I feel like that would just be a very natural thing for them to do. So Charles Soule, get it in there. You still got time. Just like one little line, be like, and then Bell took that, like a little epilogue of where they all went.
Yeah. And as adults, like us watching Young Jedi Adventures, I think it just would be a lot of fun and very satisfying to just like see where they end up. Obviously, I want to see Nubs in everything and anything they want to put him in. So
eventually they'll do old Jedi Adventures, and we'll get all of them as they're retiring
Yeah.
as
yeah.
Jedi Masters, and
I like that.
yeah, gray-haired nubs, but he's huge and still very sweet.
Yeah.
But that's it for last week in Star Wars. Next week, we have 2 comic issues coming out. Fear of the Jedi issue 1, which is like the final arc of the main High Republic Marvel comic, and Ahsoka issue 8, which is the final issue of the Ahsoka adaptation. I haven't really been covering those because it's just Ahsoka.
It's
So
the same as the show.
there's not really much to talk about.
Sure.
But it is coming out.
Yeah.
So we will cover Fear of the Jedi next week. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
And consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.